Who's going to be reporting from group number one? Group one, who's group one? Okay, who's going to report? You're on. Your report's not ready yet. Okay, we'll have to give you a demerit. We'll go to group two and then we'll come back to group one at the end. So group two, you're up. Or you can come up here and address the group from the podium.
Thank you. So, the topic we chose is participation, or it's an overarching topic, participation of patients in decision making. And the message is no decision about me without me, meaning that we want to be involved in all stages of policy. So for the effective communication, we thought of first building an action plan with very specific goals. And the key here is to involve all stakeholders. This means patients, physicians, politicians, etc. So the way to approach them is with letters first, then arranging meetings with them through social media, through the media, and for promotional events for raising awareness. Finding examples, we thought of finding examples of using influential people to raise awareness, like people that have a particular disease and they come out in public and they talk about their disease from our countries and maybe from other countries. And I thought of I remember of maybe Nelen knows about this also. Maybe you remember it. The example of Serbia shown in one of the in Euler Congress 2 years ago, I think. It was using models, people with rheumatic diseases, but with deformed fingers or whatever parts of their body. So they were used as models, and they found a designer, a clothes designer, that designed clothes for them, and they did a parade showing of the clothes. So it was very impressive, and they did a video and they promoted it on TV, and I don't know if you remember it. Okay, so the other thing was building a relationship with parliamentarians. As we said, face-to-face meetings and appointments. And then tools for our campaign would be these meetings and their minutes that should be circulated to all parties involved, so that everything is written down of what was said, so they remember their promises. And Israel gave us a very good example. I don't know if this is applicable in all countries, but it was a very good example, going to court. And I think it was about a young girl that had a disease and they wouldn't give her her medicine. So she took the government to the court, and this gained a lot of publicity with the media and the press. So that's a case study. The other thing is creating a white paper, which Sebastian was very kind to explain to us, that a white paper, I didn't know that, and it was good to know, a white paper for consultation. So creating a white paper and again involving all stakeholders to discuss it and say what they think about it and share ideas, and a think tank maybe. This white paper finally would be communicated to all stakeholders and to the public through the website and through the social media for the young people who use mostly social media, and through press releases. This is it. Thank you.
Well, that was excellent. Several of the ideas and concepts we talked about were discussed there, and also some new ideas I thought were quite good as well. So thank you, Group 2, for your report. Let's go to Group 3. Group 3. Who's the reporter-in-chief for Group 3? Aha. Very good. Here's Group 3.
I was democratically appointed to represent my group. So we try to develop a tool. Thanks also to Marco, who was an observer and support me in bringing this topic on. We found for us that the problem was that in this kind of disease, and the Crohn's and colitis disease, it's very important the early diagnosis, because we cannot prevent the disease, but we can work to have an early diagnosis. Because we saw that when a patient has a late diagnosis, that patient is a patient that costs more to the national health system. So finding a strategy to have an early diagnosis means have a good quality of life for patient, and also it's an opportunity to save money for the country. So the talking point is that we have to find a communication strategy. Someone to develop something like a documents to inform the GPs about the importance of a strategy, because we have to talk about with the GPs that usually are the first doctors who saw the patient with a chronic diarrhea. And for this, we are trying to find a way to inform them about the importance and also of the difference that there is between a normal diarrhea and an IBD diarrhea, to inform them about the importance of saving money, and importance of have this patient cure early, because when they are not diagnosed early, they need to be more hospitalized. They need to be more hospitalized. They need to have more surgeries. They need to use biological therapies. They are expensive therapies. So, in order to find the champion, we found that our champion must be the leader of GP association. So the tool, the speech must be that we have to talk with the leader of a champion, with the leader of association of GPs, and have him. The tool will be the letter. Have him send a letter to all the doctors that are part of the association. Of course, to spread the message, we have just a little disagreement about, I think we solved it, about the method that the champions should speak to the media, inform them about the strategy, and also spread the message through Facebook. So in this way, the message of the leader of GPs must be spread through the internet. So not only the doctors must be informed, but also the patient that there is this opportunity. I think I'm done. Thank you.
Shorter Excellent. Very nice, very good use of, and really kind of looking at this in terms of, oftentimes we can affect change not just at elected officials, but through policymakers like those lead medical associations and others too, so that's great. Group number four. This was the group from the basement, so we're expecting big things. Yes.
Hello, my name is Diogo and I'm representing Group 4. After a bit of a discussion between the members, we felt that a big concern was having the doctor tell the patient if they were being switched from biological to biosimilar medicines. So we decided to go with our message would be that prescribing healthcare providers must be notified in a timely manner when the biological medicine they prescribe is substituted with a biosimilar by the dispenser, which is the pharmacist. And why is this? Because we strongly believe that the communication between the physician, the pharmacist, and the patient allow for healthcare providers to optimize the outcome of the treatment of the patients. And so, for our first order of business, we'd build a coalition joining the biological user and biosimilar user community, such as patients who suffer from rheumatoid arthritis or psoriasis, and even cancer patients. Then we'd start the communication, because communication process is a lot easier if we have a lot of people working together instead of only one association, such as IBD associations. And we do a video, such as a white video, like Brian showed us. For example, demonstrating ham and cheese. Like a doctor, you go to the supermarket and you want to buy ham. Only at the delicatessen, instead of getting ham, you get cheese. You went to buy something and you got another one. Or instead, doing a video where you're peeling an orange, and instead of having the orange, you end up with an apple. That would raise the awareness. Also, we'd hold group meetings and workshops such as this one to raise the awareness inside the patient community, because a lot of patients will then lead their concerns to the doctors, and thus leading to our third step, having a petition, which would be signed by the doctors and the patients, and if possible, by the pharmacists. After the petition and all the awareness raising, having our voice known by the people, we'd hold a press conference or a press release saying what drives us and what are our concerns. And we'd also write letters to political parties. For example, apply some political pressure using the opposition to play the political game. Third, we think that a champion would be the legislator. It would be our end game to get in a face-to-face meeting with him. For that, we plan on sending letters and researching connections via social media such as Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and sending messages and newsletters to that person. Besides that, we'd also use the relations of the patients and the physicians, who might also have more connections. I emphasize the part that if a lot of people work together, it's better than just to have one association. Fourth, we build a relationship by keeping in touch, literally. I think it's the only way you can build a relationship. And we do this by sending newsletters about the subject, also by inviting the champion to events such as a marathon or workshops, so that he can learn more about our concerns. After that, we'd post pictures on Facebook saying he's a big supporter to our cause. That would also apply some pressure to the champion. Besides that, he would be seen as a supporter of our cause, gain political image, and he would be, I don't know, politicals kind of enjoy that. So after that, we'd also report updates and any new development regarding this subject. And our goal is to create a legislation which would allow the health provider to be notified of any change between the prescription and the medicine that is provided to the patient. And I think that's it.
Very good, very good. Group 4, fantastic. I think you touched on almost everything that we talked about in the toolbox, so that was really impressive. And the first shall now be last, so group 1 will be fourth. Here we go. Thank you.
So, the message. Let's start from the message. The logo sentence is higher access, lower risks. And that's all. We spent all the time on this. But it was a very, very interesting discussion. We spent a lot of time discussion. Starting from these exercises, we analyzed a lot of points that led also maybe out of the scope of the exercise, but it was a very interesting exchange. Anyway, coming back to the point, the message is summarizing what has been said in these couple of days. Biosimilars is an opportunity to grant higher access to patients to innovative therapies, of course, thanks, of course, also to cost improvement, but very strong need for having patient safety addressed as first priority. And this should be the message that should be shared with every stakeholder. Let's go back to the second point, that is communication. We spent a lot of time trying to identify what should be all the stakeholders that should be addressed by our communication plan. Whatever will be the specific way that will be used to spread this communication. We have talked about the health ministry, the health authority in the various countries. We have talked about patient group, parliaments group focusing on health. I think every parliament, for instance, in Italy, there are that specific subgroups in Senatus involved in health matters, and there are specific politicians that should have the skills for performing this job. For sure, those people is the first priority in the communication plan. And in the involvement also, coming back to another point, of the relationship, on the plan to build the network of relationship to spread the message. Another important entity that should be touched by our communication plan is what in Italy is called AIFA, that is the authority for drugs introduction and monitoring. We spent a lot of time on this because there was some divergence in the opinion, and the divergence in the opinion built information, so it was very interesting to discuss about this because AIFA is bureaucratic entity, okay, where people work performing his job and doing the things that have to be done to analyze the opportunity to introduce a new drug or and all the discussion that are around this. And the management, the executive of these authorities are typically politicians linked, okay, politics linked. So it is for sure one of the main entities that have to be addressed, but probably not in a direct way, but through through a different way, probably using also the politics help, support that have to be obtained before, as I stressed as a first point. Okay, of course, pharmaceuticals are a need on this. We cannot probably avoid this. Professional and medical medicines commission and so welfare department too, of course. In probably in every government there is a specific welfare department in all the countries, so these have to be addressed too. And the communication plan we discussed will be focused mainly on the organization of several workshops involving the various stakeholders, not all together, of course, but with specific targets in the event that will be organized. Champions. The champion we were thinking about, probably at the end of the story, will be a person or one or more person with a personal interest in the pathology, in the disease we are representing, and possibly we should find a person that belongs to one of the entities of the. It should be one of the stakeholders. I mean, it should be the utopia. Find a person with the disease and belonging to one of the entities we discussed up to now. This should be the optimum. Okay, just summarizing, and I don't want to take too much time. Just compressing all the other points in one original probably thing we discussed. That is the original. Actually, is something that is very, very clear probably to many of you. But personally belonging and representing as the little association, like some other colleagues that was sitting in the table. We discussed a lot about not only the opportunity but the need to federate this association in something bigger. In order to be heard, representing a not meaningful mass of people makes more difficult to be heard, to knock at the porte, to have the door opened, right? So only way is to build a critical mass, working together, grouping together in federation. On the other hand, a risk that has been stressed too in this is that your voice could be lost in this federation. So it's a trade-off that has to be found. Okay, I mean there are already organizations that can amplify our voice. We have talked about the Eurodis that have this role in Europe. But what is very difficult is to drive this big organization in the right direction, in the direction that is the direction of the interest of your patients. And that's all. I want to take more time.
Thank you. Very good. Well, another excellent report, and I want to congratulate everybody. I know we didn't have as much time as we'd hoped for the exercise, but I think the level of understanding about the issues and the tactics and the strategies that can be used to focus on policy issues as part of your work as patient advocates, to come up with ideas how your organizations can be active around this is all very useful. So I urge you all as you go back home and you're working with leadership of your groups and working through umbrella organizations and others, to think about in 2016, what are some of your policy priorities and how can you start to incorporate those into some of your programs. And I think we talked about several times today is none of this happens overnight. It's a building process, and part of it is getting started somewhere and then just being persistent and keeping going forward, because over time you'll start to see the results and really make a difference for the patients. So I think this brings us pretty much to our close. And so a few words of thank you to all of you, first of all, for giving of your time and being here. Dr. Charles and Chase from the GAFPA team, we all, on behalf of all of us, we very much appreciate being part of this and look forward to working with you as we go forward. And with that, my appreciation to EFCA and to Luisa and Bella and Anna and the team, because they were just tremendous to work with as we planned and brought this together. So.